I take back everything that I said about EA being boring with their esports stuff, alright? Ubisoft. This was the most boring presentation ever. You had good games. You had the goods. You have a solid lineup. But the way it was presented was just boring. Put me to sleep. That's why my voice sounds like this. I just woke up. With that out of the way, what up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Stando TV here, of course, keeping you guys in the know. And I am breaking down every E3 conference one by one. And now we're on to Ubisoft, if you didn't already know. So let's get into it. Ubisoft opened their conference with a weird dance sequence. People dressed up like giraffes and stuff. I'm not going to show it here because I'm going to save your eyeballs. If you didn't watch the press conference, just know that I am saving your eyeballs, okay? I just am. Because it was weird. Alright? But it was for Just Dance 2017. Yeah. If you don't count Just Dance 17 shenanigans at the beginning of the show, then Ubisoft opened strong by showing us Ghost Recon Wildlands. What's impressive about this game is how good it looks, how good the action looks, how good the open world sandbox looks. Everything mechanically looks like it works in tandem. It was scripted gameplay. I don't enjoy the scripted talk stuff, but hey, sure. Because it is so scripted, and I don't know that people role play like that, but apparently that's the thing for all these Tom Clancy games that Ubisoft keeps doing, is these scripted role playing, talking back and forth through all this. But yeah, the game itself looks fine though. I like how it's got this mixture of what the Division is doing with their third-person combat cover shooter stuff, but they're also doing a lot of Far Cry-esque Metal Gear Solid type stuff, which is really cool. I really enjoyed the gameplay trailer. Looks like a phenomenal game, and it will release on March 7th, 2017. It is 4-player co-op, but it is also a single player, so if you don't want to bring 3 of your buddies to play along with you, you can play this game by yourself. So that's pretty interesting. So yeah, good job. I'm glad to see a Tom Clancy experience that has a story-driven campaign. We didn't get that with Rainbow Six Siege. You got that with The Division, but The Division's more of a loot game. I don't think that's the story campaign people are looking for. I think this is what a Tom Clancy game should be so far, from what I've seen. I've not gotten my hands on it, but this is the one that I've been the most excited about, is the Ghost Recon. So hopefully it does well. I can't wait to play it. And then we got to see Cartman as the Coon. It's South Park, The Fractured Butthole, the anticipated sequel to South Park and The Stick of Truth. Looks very good. I like this. I like what they're doing here a lot. So yeah, it's more comedy. I heard people rave about how good The Stick of Truth is, and how close this stuff looks to the actual TV series. I'm all on board. More South Park. It's great stuff. We showed Eagle Flight, which was a multiplayer based VR. It was kind of weird to watch. I don't necessarily understand really what was going on. It was like a capture the flag thing, but it was really hard to keep up with. And you know, they had 4 people on the stage playing it at one time with 4 headsets. So yeah, there was that. That seems pretty expensive though, if that was a sit-down cooperative experience. Because if you're making multiplayer only games for VR, I don't think you can do that yet. I know people are trying to make multiplayer only games for for the consoles, but these headsets are a hell of a lot expensive, so multiplayer only games for VR just doesn't make any sense. It seems very expensive. Yeah, just throwing that out there. Plus, it didn't look very good. It looked like a PS2 game. I don't know if that was an artistic choice to keep you from getting motion sickness at 60 frames per second or what, but yeah, I don't know. The next thing that we saw from Ubisoft actually had me pretty pumped. I am a huge Star Trek fan, and I got excited seeing a ship that was somewhat like the Enterprise. I thought we was going to get like this really cool Star Trek experience, but this is actually a VR game. Of course, they brought LeVar Burton and a lot of the other Star Trek casts from different shows in to demonstrate this, and this is Star Trek Bridge Crew, and there you see the cast. They're strapping into their VR headsets. They're talking about how amazing it was. Again, there was too much of the talking and interviewing and things like this. This is what really drug out this conference. Matter of fact, as soon as this segment was over, they brought LeVar Burton back onto the stage to talk more about this, and it just kept going and kept going. But I'm totally into the VR crew. I like how everybody has to work together as a team. But again, this is one of those multiplayer co-op experiences that just seems rather expensive, you know? Very expensive. Now, the graphics aren't much to look like. They look awful. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm hyped that you get to be on the Star Trek bridge and run things like as a crew together. That's an exciting notion, but why? This is slower motion than the Eagle Flight VR. So why does the graphics look like early PlayStation 2? I don't get it. Because and the reason I'm saying that is, and everybody says, well, that's the way all VR games work. All these, they look like iOS, Android games. No, they don't. We will talk about that later when we get to Sony's press conference. Not every VR game has to look like ass, like dog shit. I'm just saying. It's fascinating. I like Star Trek, despite how non-aesthetically pleasing this is. It does seem like something that I could get into if I could just afford that many headsets, I guess. So the next thing that happened was this For Honor trailer. It's a cinematic trailer for this single story player campaign, and it's a very interesting one. I'm really looking forward to this game. It looks beautiful. It looks like it has more meat behind its mechanics with the way that you actually engage in combat. Of course, this is a pre-rendered CGI trailer, but they went on and showed a lot of gameplay from this. It looks amazing with the big brute, you know, that has to infiltrate this. They had like this big brute Viking that was infiltrating this samurai's fortress type of deal, and it was really fascinating. I really like the cinematic trailer. It looks, you know, I like cinematics. I like CGI stuff. It was a good presentation overall. And then the gameplay looks equally phenomenal. Like when you hit somebody, it looks like they have weight to them. Not like they fly 10 feet, 15, 20 feet, but they actually just, you know, pretty much more realistic in the death animations and like the sword and the axes, they look heavy as the characters are like slinging them around. It was I was really into this. I think this is a really fascinating project that they're working on. Then Ubisoft showed some smaller scaled games, of course, Grow Up, the sequel to Grow Homes. So yeah, Bud's back. This was pretty cool. The creators of Blood Dragon and the creators of Trials and Trials Fusion come together to make a game, and it's pretty exciting. Little This is so 80s. A lot of 80s references going on here. Looks fun. Looks like more Trials, but with like a 80s action toy twist on them, which is pretty cool. So Trials Blood Dragon, looking forward to that. And then if you haven't seen it, all week long, actually all last week too, yeah, this game has been everywhere. Watch Dogs 2. They really want people to play Watch Dogs this time. What is my take on Watch Dogs 2? I was a huge fan of the Watch Dogs 1. A lot of people weren't. I thought that it suffered from some core gameplay mechanics, like the driving wasn't very good. It was overly repetitive, but the main meat of the game I actually enjoyed. It was okay. I didn't like Aiden Pierce as a character, really. He was more brooding than Batman is, you know what I mean? He just was a miserable person. Not a very good character, not a very interesting one either. But that being said, this looks more fun. It looks like it looks like a beautiful representation of San Francisco. The main character, Marcus here, he looks like a lot more of a fun character. He doesn't seem like the brooding character. He's a member of this hacking group. I can get more into this. The parkour looks great. Everything about this screams what Assassin's Creed 2 did to Assassin's Creed 1. See, I thought Assassin's Creed 1 was pretty good. It wasn't like my favorite game ever, but Assassin's Creed 2 was way better than Assassin's Creed 1. And I think that's the treatment that we're seeing here, where Watch Dogs 1 was good. It wasn't the greatest game ever, but Watch Dogs 2 is going to be way better than Watch Dogs 1. This looks fun. This looks more exciting, and I can't wait to get it in my hands. And here it is, the last game that Ubisoft showed. Like I said, they had half the stuff, took twice as long to show it. But this is for a new IP. It's called Steep. A lot of snowboarding, a lot of skiing, a lot of hang gliding, I guess, whatever this stuff is. It seems pretty cool. It's a massive open world, partially set in that, it's an esports type of game, but it doesn't look as hardcore. Like, there are snowboarding games out there that people love, but then there's, I don't know that if you put all, like, I don't know, I'm confused why they ended the show with this. This is probably one of the things that I would have put in the middle, and I certainly wouldn't have dedicated as long to this game as they did, and they spent a long time dedicated to this game. Maybe it's just me, maybe it resonated with somebody more, but this is the game they ended on, and I don't know. I probably would have ended on Watch Dogs 2, considering it was the most imminent thing coming out this year, and that it, everybody had already knew about it. Maybe you could have ended on a surprise and maybe move Steep up where Ghost Recon was, not talk about Steep as much, but move the Ghost Recon Wildlands and close with it, since most people are anticipating the Ghost Recon game. I don't know. They've got a very strong lineup. I don't know. They've got a strong lineup of games. I think their press conference went a little too long. It wasn't any fault on Aisha Taylor. I think she did a good job. I think it was just they had to interview everybody. Like Trey Parker and Matt Stone, they had to interview those guys for the South Park game. They had to interview LeVar Burton for the Star Trek game. And I think when you interview the developers and you interview the people involved, and they just went on too long, whereas some of the other conferences, they showed way more, but did it in less time, because it was like boom, 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 boom. And I think that had people pumped more, had people resonated more. But again, I think this is a very strong lineup for Ubisoft. I don't know about Steep, though. Why they ended with that, I have no idea. It's a new IP. Hopefully it does well for them. But all their other games look to be very, very strong and hopefully very profitable, because this is their, they really needed to bring it this year. It's their 30th year anniversary. They're in a major threat of hostile takeover from Vivendi that's saying, you needed to really prove yourself so that you didn't get bought out. And hopefully you did that. I don't know. I am not a shareholder at all, so but I know that Ubisoft generally makes good games that I am intrigued in, and I hope that this collection showcase that they had today was no different. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. Don't forget to follow me over at Twitter and over at Twitch, twitch.tv/StandoTV. So yeah, let me know what you thought about Ubisoft's conference down in the comments below. Rate, comment, and subscribe on this video. We'll catch you next time. Have a good one. Love your face.